A very, very warm welcome to yet another Kumekucha video. Information and analysis that is very difficult to find anywhere else. I recommend that you subscribe and you hit the bell button so that you receive notifications every time I have a new video. Karibu sana and enjoy. All indications on the ground are that we are going into a referendum this year, 2019. That is assuming, of course, that the Almighty does not step in and say no. But let me leave my personal nagging feelings out of this. And let me just analyze this according to what we see on the ground. For starters, the Siamese twins are both reading from the same script. The president has hinted by being very vocal about Kenyans bringing an end to the winner takes it all system. And of course, the only way to do that is to adjust or change the executive structure. And of course, the only way to do that is to go into a referendum. But the most glaring statements have come from His Excellency Raila Odinga. While addressing students from the Kenya University Students Organization, KUSO, at his Capitol Hill office this week, Raila said this year is going to be the year of change in the country. And the ODM leader was very categorical in saying that anybody who does not want to move along with change in Kenya will be left behind. This year, 2019, will be the year of change. In my view, one cannot be clearer than that. But there's more evidence that we're hurtling towards a referendum, and from the most unlikely source. The Deputy President in Chatham House, London, again this week, made some proposals that he considers are best for the country. I've covered those in an earlier video on this channel. But that's not all. He went ahead and started asking questions. The kind of questions you ask shortly, very shortly before a referendum. Questions like, how are we going to finance it? Because we have another major national exercise this year, and that is the census. And according to my colleague here, Hezron, there are movements within the Deputy President's camp that suggest kimeumana. What movements is he referring to? It is whispered that the Deputy President is now listening to advice and has recently dramatically expanded his think tank and close advisors to include people like Professor Kivutha Kibwana, the Makueni governor, amongst others. Now, one of the reasons why I don't buy this street talk, I'm not fooled by it, in my view, is the rider that comes with it. And the rider says that the Deputy President has now chosen, to abandon his young, youthful advisors who are naive politically. Now, that is a clear contradiction, because you don't say the Deputy President doesn't listen to advice, and then a few sentences later you say that he has now abandoned his youthful advisors who are politically naive. Personally, I need a lot of convincing to be convinced that the Deputy President has stopped being his own chief advisor. Now, these rumors I have dismissed have gained traction because there's a clear, very, very clear sign that the Deputy President has changed his tactics. He has even changed his position on the referendum, because he's already making suggestions towards that referendum. He's already putting forward questions that would be posed in that particular referendum. Or rather, suggestions that would ultimately lead to the questions that will be posed in the referendum. Like suggesting the introduction of an opposition leader, the person who comes second in the election, and retaining the all-powerful presidency and forgetting about the Prime Minister position. And he has offered very convincing reasons as to why the premiership will not solve the winner takes it all problem. And that is, the winner of the presidential election will most likely come from the most popular party in the country. And the most popular party in parliament will have the power to elect a prime minister in parliament. That's how it normally goes. And so what will happen is that winner will still take it all with the presidency and the premiership. All this rhetoric from the deputy president just now are clear indications that a referendum is hanging over our heads, very close. And even these rumors, which are clearly aimed at cleaning up the deputy president's image by claiming that past wrong decisions, were made by young, inexperienced political advisors. All these suggest that our political environment is about to change. And what the deputy president is doing is repositioning himself for the new reality. And clearly, those against the deputy president have not gone to sleep either. And what they have done is to conveniently, let it slip, that June Ruto, the daughter of the deputy president, is indeed the charge d'affaires in Poland for Kenya. Ordinarily, the charge d'affaires heads an embassy, in the absence of an ambassador. Now, the interesting thing here is that officially, Kenya does not have an embassy in Poland. And so, technically speaking, if you have a charge d'affaires in a country where you don't have an embassy, that is really the country's envoy in that country. Now, those Kenyans with the memory of an elephant will remember that in 2014, there was a very huge controversy when it was rumored that June Ruto, having just joined the foreign ministry, was Kenya's envoy to Poland. And this was firmly denied by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and also by the DP Ruto office. But it is now very clear that was not a rumor, it was fact. Obviously, this is the kind of information that would be very damaging to a presidential bid. We all love our children, and it's natural to love your children. But what you're doing here is that you're telling voters that going forward, when you become president, you could very easily have the following discussion at your dinner table in your house. Daddy, I want to be the ambassador to the US. Then another of your children say, I've always liked Switzerland. Daddy, you post me to Switzerland. And as this conversation is going on at your dinner table, there are so many Kenyans who have sold their land, sold all their cows, sold everything to take their children to school and to university. And then their children end up at home, jobless and without any hope. And your children are being posted to plush diplomatic postings all over the world. Daddy, since there'll be so much political manenos, so you post me somewhere in Europe, hidden, where people don't pay much attention to. Like Poland or Slovakia, where I can cross quickly to visit our cousins in Germany. Na hapo ndo maendeleo imetufikisha hapa Kenya. Now, it is instructive that June Ruto has been in Poland since 2014. We are now in 2019. The timing here, as bad as this thing is, the timing of the revelation of this information is suspect. And it points to a vicious, very vicious battle between the DP Ruto camp and those opposed to his presidential ambitions. And if you take in my very latest Club 1999 video, you will realize mambo bado, tena bado sana. Folks, the show has not even started. These are just sideshows before the curtain opens. Mambo bado. The main show has not started. And I can assure you, when that show starts, nobody will be asking who is the Kenyan envoy to Poland. Nobody. There'll be no time to ask such irrelevant, or shall I say such trivial questions. Yeah, I hope you get my meaning. You know, things can be so elephant for you, so elephant, that although you're a thief, people are not asking what you stole. They are the bigger issues. There is a more serious drama unfolding. Yeah. Or you could have slept with your neighbor's wife. Yeah. But things get so elephant for you, people are not even talking about that. So what else are they talking about? That is the drama. That is the drama Kenyans are about to behold. Now, in my view, this referendum talk makes me nervous. And the reason why it makes me nervous is that we've been here before. Yeah, in 2010, when we were constructing a new constitution, we went into great trouble to clip the powers of the presidency. We kicked the president and his deputy out of parliament. We ensured that every significant appointment of the president has to go through parliament for approval. We created counties to water down the powers of a centralized executive. But look what happened. Yeah, it is very difficult, if you compare presidents in Kenya, to make a distinction between a president under the new constitution and the older presidents, who were operating under a constitution we called bad for the country. Because what happened is that the new president under the new constitution found a way to be as powerful as the older presidents under the so-called bad constitution. At the end of the day, nothing has changed under a new constitution, as far as excesses of the executive are concerned. And so now, we want to go into a referendum to adjust our constitution yet again. And my fear is we'll still not be able to tame this office. And that is why I support something that I know will never pass in any referendum in our country called Kenya. What am I proposing? A rotational presidency, where the holder of the office does not hold it for longer than 1 year. Because parliament is dominated by selfish thugs, and we want to transfer a lot of executive power to a house of thugs. People were paid as little as 10,000 shillings, according to reports last year, to make decisions that are against the people of Kenya, the very people who elected them. And so, maybe the perfect solution is to keep the presidency, but make it rotational, not more than a year in office. Anyway, who cares? Who's listening to me? Until next time, this is Kshs, Kumekucha. The recent visit to the United Kingdom by Deputy President Ruto had a very clear objective that most of us seem to have missed. And that objective is linked to some mind-boggling events that are about to unfold in our country. It is actually nothing to do with the so-called secret mission that ODM officials have accused him of. Trust me, it is something much more shocking. Catch it all in my latest highly sensitive Club 1999 video. If you're not a member yet, it's very easy to be a member. All you need to do is send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and you'll receive an automated response giving you payment details. Act now, don't procrastinate, and get this latest sizzling hot, sensitive video on the Deputy President and the real reason for his visit to London. You will of course also receive all the other sensitive videos you've missed in the past, about 35 of them. that will inform you and completely change your outlook on what exactly is unfolding in our country. Club 1999. Next month's screaming headlines today.